And
Very.
that's the thing though about writing about history is the more I'm writing about it, the more I get to understand these things, as you said, just by that term on a whole. Here it means one thing and there it means something else. There it's seen as offensive and here it's like it's normal. They'll be like, hey, see that colored chick, you know? But if I had to walk in the States on the street, no one would be like, hey, see that colored chick, you know? So it's nice as well getting to hear the different views as to how history and basically what makes somebody African enough kind of gets the lines kind of just get mixed up somewhere along the line.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because I could speak from experience. Because when I'm in Africa, South Africa, for example, everybody is black to me. But when I'm there, it's not like that. But sometimes I could say I can tell because I may see a colored person, and like I say, he's black to me. But I could tell by the accent sometimes. That's the way that I could tell. Like you say, you don't know if the person can speak Afrikaans or not, but I could tell they talk a little different. Or even some people, like the way I wear my hair, you can't see it now, but I have like brush waves, they're like, "Is you colored or is you is you black?" I'm like, "I'm from America, so we all black, but it's cool, it's respect." And I was reading something, for example, I think that the white people in South Africa, they actually studied racism in America. Marcus Garvey, he wrote a paper about it. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Marcus Garvey. He's a Pan-Africanist, but basically, the South Africans, they looked at what America was doing, and they saw that by them keeping the black people, the mixed black people, the Indians, anybody with dark skin, they put them all together and they segregated them. And the South Africans felt like that was a problem because all of these people may start to work together and rebel and fight together. So when they went to South Africa, then they made all of these different classifications. Okay, you black. Okay, you colored.
Yeah.
Okay, you Indian. But they basically different groups of people with black or mixed with black. But white is white. You know what I'm saying? So when you come to America, a white person could be from Canada. He could be from Australia. He could be from Germany. He could be from South Africa. He's still a white man. You get what I'm saying? So, like I say, the viewers is from different countries. So maybe if we had a conversation, they can understand what you're saying and where you coming from.
Yeah. And I
So
mean, the crazy part as well is that even within being mixed race, within being colored, there's still racism and that stigmatization on its own. Because I'm fair in complexion, there's kind of a thing of where I remember guys used to say, "Oh, I want a fair chick with like light eyes." Like, I'm like, there's no there's no badge that you get from dating a fair colored chick. And there was always that thing of, oh, she must be fair, she must have straight hair and green eyes or blue eyes, because that's how some mixed race colored people look, because of that mixture that's happened within their family, within their units, within their history. um and as that's why I say, like, this, like, even with guys that are darker in complexion, they're like, he's black though. No, you're like, no, he's colored. No, but he's black though. So
right.
the crazy thing I always say is that a system that was put in place way before I was born, way before a lot of us were around here, it's still in play, and it's sadly going to still continue being in play until we change our mindsets.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. I wanted to ask you, what do you think are some of the benefits of poetry? So maybe for some of the viewers who may want to give poetry a try, or they may be looking for something to help them, especially at a time like now with the pandemic, people going through
Yeah.
different things mentally. So
Firstly, not everyone can be a poet. Poetry can't be taught as well. Um, it's something that's already within you. Um, and when you're going through, it starts basically with journaling. So if you're going through something, if you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, or you don't want to talk to someone because of that fear of being stigmatized, or anything of that sort, then write it down, journal it. And when you start journaling stuff down, you might never know if it will turn into something more. That's basically when you'll figure out if you're really, if poetry is for you or if it's not for you. Because I've had people come up to me, close family as well, and they've been like, "Oh, you going to a poetry event?" And like, yeah, they're like, "Oh, poetry is not for me." So I'm like, "Okay, cool. It's okay if it's not for you." And that's why I say it starts with journaling. And poetry is a deep thing. If you're not a person that's ready to go deep into your emotions and deep into yourself, don't do it. Don't do it, because you will learn so much about yourself, what triggers you, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, and go deeper into those emotions. Why does this make me sad? How does my body react when I'm sad? How does my heart react when I'm sad? What does my mind think about when I'm sad? How do my senses get triggered during my moments of feeling sad or anxious and depressed? So that's what poetry is. Poetry is picking up all the fine print of everything, whether you're writing about nature, whether you're writing about yourself, whether you're writing about other people's experiences. When you read a poem, a poet's poem, or when you hear them reciting, you'll pick up, like, you will feel like you're in that room, smelling all the smells, hearing all the sounds, seeing what they see. So that's my best advice, is start journaling. If you feel like you need to let some stuff off your chest, journal it down. If it turns into something more, then you look for guidance and you find your identity within poetry, because there's different types of poets, and their own identities and their own fingerprints within the poetry world as well.
Okay, okay. I wanted to ask you, has the pandemic affected you as a poet? Like you said, you go to poetry night or poetry readings, different things like that. Has it affected your creativity? Do you write more? Do you write less? And are the bars and stuff back open?
um it helped me write more. It helped me write a whole lot more, because I always say, that during this pandemic, I think the pandemic, in a way, as much as I don't like the effects it's had on us, and the loss that we've had to take, and the emotional uphills that it's put us through, but the experience and the journey of being at home made me have more time with my kids, for example, and with my family, because that was something that I always wanted to have more of. And then it was wanting to spend more time writing, wanting to spend more time reading, because when you have your 9 to 5, and I mean, my 9 to 5 was leaving at 6 in the morning and coming home at 6 in the evening. So the only time I would fully only have to write would probably be during my lunch hour, or it would be during the weekend. But the weekend is time for my kids. So during the pandemic, it helped us open up a lot of doors, because at this moment, like, the people that I know, more from, I just knew basically a lot of poets within Africa, within South Africa, during the poetry process. And then when the pandemic hit, the group got bigger. So I started talking to some, friends, some sisters and brothers out in Zambia, Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria. And I was like, oh, okay, this is fun. We get to collaborate with each other. We got to write some amazing pieces with each other. And up to now, even though the restrictions have loosened up a little bit more, those bonds have still been made during that process. So if it wasn't for the pandemic, the creative juices and the creative mind would have probably just, carried on taking it as a joke, or as a pass by thing, because sometimes we just take things for granted. We get given these gifts and then we're like, oh, okay, it's there, and I'll use it now and again, and I'll dip into that box here and again. But when you're forced to just sit with that box in front of you, you have to open it up and start looking and digging within it and finding out more and more about it. So during the pandemic, I found out a lot more about myself, and my writing got a lot better. And I shocked myself as well during the process. And it sparked me to get to this point now where I'm more comfortable to recite more of what I write on, and as well as start the book, because that's something I wouldn't have thought about doing before COVID.